Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to another True Unscripted Puro video, and today we have another episode of Reviving the Federation, and today we have our last TV show before WrestleMania 42. Oh, I'm so excited. Y'all don't even know. Tonight, we have a stacked card here tonight for SmackDown. We have matches such as the Baddies taking on Rio and Kairi Sane, Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona taking on Aleister Black and Selena, Trick Mellow Gang getting back together for the first time in several years to take on Ilya Dragunov and Sami Zayn. Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Lash Legend, and Nikki Bella compete in a four-way match, a preview of the upcoming women's tag title four-way match at WrestleMania. We also have Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Tama Tonga, the MFTs taking on the Wyatt Six, and in your main event, Cody Rhodes and Danhausen taking on Kit Wilson and The Miz. Also tonight, we will hear from Randy Orton and probably Cody Rhodes. If you missed last episode, you missed several matches being announced, such as Motor City Machine Guns now taking on Damian Priest and R-Truth at WrestleMania for the WWE Tag Team titles. Also, Julia will be defending her WWE Women's United States Championship against Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. And Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov have been added to the US title match at WrestleMania. So without further ado, let's get on to tonight's show. We start the show off with a pre-show match where Royce Keys defeats Rey Mysterio in a decent pre-show bout. 58 rating, love to see it. Royce Keys' heel turn got a poor reaction, oh well. Afterwards, we start the show off with a video package highlighting everything that took place last week, including the Motor City Machine Guns becoming #1 contenders for the WWE Tag Team Championships, Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov being entered into the United States Championship match at WrestleMania, and Shinsuke Nakamura's promo hyping up everything in store tonight on the last stop before WrestleMania 42. 48 rating, love to see it. Afterwards, we get a promo from Randy Orton. Orton's theme song hits as the crowd showers him in boos. Orton walks down to the ring and grabs a microphone and smirks before saying that tomorrow night is the night. Tomorrow night is when he sees whether or not Cody listened to him and Stephanie McMahon, and if Cody has brought back that killer instinct. Orton says that the person who's been talking to him the past few weeks and months will be at WrestleMania and will have front row seats, so in case anything happens, Orton has backup in Las Vegas tomorrow. Orton says that last week, Cody brought that killer instinct out a little bit when fighting Kit Wilson. At the same time, that's fucking Kit Wilson. Orton says that Cody's win last week doesn't really impress him, and while he's going to be watching the main event closely tonight, you can't help to think that Cody doesn't give a fuck about him or the match tomorrow. So he's giving Cody one more chance, impress him, and maybe Orton will see him as a threat, but otherwise, Orton will have it easy tomorrow night. 78 rating, love to see it. Afterwards, we have our first match of the night as the newly formed The Arcana have defeated the Baddies when Kairi Sane pinned Michin following an insane elbow. B-Fab was the weak link doing a 24. Right in front of her was Michin with a 43. 64 rating, love to see it. Io Sky putting in the performance of the night with a 70. Rhea right behind with a 69. Afterwards, Io Sky and Kairi Sane celebrate the win as Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley stare down from ringside, with Jade Cargill raising her title up in the air. A stare down between Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley. How will the match play out at WrestleMania? Only the time will tell. But afterwards, we go backstage to where Motor City Machine Guns are seen celebrating their #1 contendership win last week with Shelly and Saban talking about how this will be their first ever WrestleMania appearance. Damian Priest and R-Truth interrupt them, congratulating them on their win. The champions say that they think Motor City Machine Guns are the best possible challengers for SmackDown, so they are glad they were able to win. But just like they said, this will be their first WrestleMania appearance, while this will be Priest's 5th Mania appearance and Truth's 8th appearance. Priest and Truth have been under those bright lights and have both won under those bright lights, but Motor City Machine Guns have never been under those bright lights. In fact, this will only be their 3rd pay-per-view appearance for WWE ever, and their other 2 pay-per-view appearances, they've lost both times. Priest says that he knows how good Motor City Machine Guns can be, and he hopes that they can bring their A game at WrestleMania because they won't be giving these titles up easily. 59 rating, love to see it. Then we go back to the ring to where Selena and Aleister Black defeat Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona when Aleister Black pinned Matt Cardona. Decent rating, 48. Chelsea Green was really off her game here, 39. Afterwards, Aleister Black and Selena celebrate the win against Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona before Alba Fire can be seen entering the ring behind Selena, getting ready to attack her. Right as Fire runs at her, Selena grabs her head and ducks, making Fire miss. Selena looks up and sees Alba Fire before Selena starts attacking her. Selena and Fire start brawling before Black grabs Selena and tells her to not worry about Alba Fire, as they will make sure Fire gets her comeuppance soon. Black and Selena exit the ring and go back to celebrating their victory while Matt Cardona and the Green Regime watch on. 47 rating, not too bad. Afterwards, we go backstage to where Trick Williams can be seen rizzing up the ladies backstage before Carmelo Hayes enters the frame. Hayes tells Trick that in just a matter of moments, they have to team together to take on Ilya Dragunov and Sami Zayn. Hayes says that if it were up to him, he would protest the match and wouldn't do it. But he doesn't want to risk losing the spot in the US title match at WrestleMania, so he's reluctantly doing the match here tonight. Trick nods and says that just for tonight, they'll be on the same page and tries to dab up Hayes like the good old days. Hayes looks at Trick's hand and gets close to him as he says that just because he's doing the match tonight doesn't mean that Melo fucks with Trick now. Melo doesn't fuck with Trick after everything Trick has done to him over the past few weeks and years. But only for tonight will he be on the same page with him, as he wants to hurt Ilya and Zayn tonight and make Sunday's match solely him versus Trick. Hayes walks away as Trick removes his sunglasses, watching Melo walk away in shock. 72 rating, love to see it. Afterwards, we get an in-ring promo from Trick as Trick Williams walks down to the ring in his wrestling attire as the crowd cheers for him. Trick enters the ring and grabs a microphone before saying that he has a lot to talk about, so settle in. Trick says that last week he didn't interfere in Melo versus Ilya because he hates Melo. He doesn't give a fuck about Melo or Ilya. He only interfered because this match was promised to him. Nick Aldis gave him this match 3 weeks ago. And the fact that he now has to share that spotlight with Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov just because of Hayes being a whiny little bitch makes him sick. Trick says that Aldis is stupid for adding the 2 men to the match, and the gingerhead man, Sami Zayn, no one cares about him. I mean, look at what everyone is saying online. Sammy Hogan, another mid-card title to Zayn, another undeserved Mania match for Zayn. Let's hope Carmelo Hayes doesn't become the next Chad Gable. Trick can count on one hand the people who are happy that Zayn is here in the match, and those people are Zayn's friends and family and Trick himself, because Trick knows he can whoop Zayn's ass easily at WrestleMania and tonight here on SmackDown. 75 rating. This segment deserved better commentary, I guess. Afterwards, we have our next match as the Trick Mello Gang defeat Ilya Dragunov and Sami Zayn in a decent match when Carmelo Hayes pinned Ilya Dragunov following a Fedora Frog Splash. 69 rating, love to see it. Afterwards, Trick Mello Gang have defeated Ilya Dragunov and Sami Zayn as they celebrate their win. Trick grabs Zayn's United States Championship and raises it up, taunting the crowd as the crowd cheers for him. Trick poses with the US title before Carmelo Hayes suddenly grabs the title from Trick's hands, raising it up himself before Mello and Trick stare down. Afterwards, we go backstage to where Julia and Kiana James are seen backstage with Megan Morant. Morant says that last week, Tiffany Stratton challenged Julia to a match at WrestleMania, and on behalf of Julia, Kiana James accepted the challenge. Morant asks Julia her thoughts on James accepting the match on her behalf, and before Julia can respond, James says that Julia was born ready for any and all fights. She will prove why Julia is the dangerous queen. Julia interrupts James before she can finish and says that she understands why she accepted the match, but don't do that shit ever again. Kiana James isn't the Women's United States Champion. Julia is. Julia thanks Kiana James, but Julia doesn't need Kiana James anymore. Julia walks away as Kiana James looks surprised alongside Megan Morant. Kiana James asks Morant if that really just happened before Morant quickly wraps up the interview, saying that it seems like Julia is no longer associated with Kiana James, before sending it back to Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett. But yeah, it seems like Julia has ended her association with Kiana James. Now James needs to find new clients. Wonder who she will find, but only time will tell. Afterwards, we don't go back to the ring. We have hype videos for Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, highlighting the feud's history and everything that's happened over the past few months. 59 rating, just kind of adding hype to their match at WrestleMania, even though it's a Texas death match. Afterwards, we go back to the ring for our next match as Lash Legend defeats Alexa Bliss, Nikki Bella, and Bayley in a decent match. Bayley carried the match in terms of in-ring performance, doing a 60. Everyone else doing 40s. Not too shabby. Afterwards, Lash Legend celebrates her upset win here tonight as she grabs her half of the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship and holds it high into the air as she taunts the Legends and the crowd, saying that she's better than all three of her opponents. Afterwards, we get a hype video from Tiffany Stratton, and clips of her wrestling are shown as Stratton says that she has seen the reaction people have given her over requesting the match. The match made no sense, and there's no good reason why she would want such an irrelevant title. Well, it's because the fans are too blind to understand the story. See, when Stratton lost the WWE Women's title in November, she's been struggling to find her footing on SmackDown again. The other women's titles were taken up, and it was either the Women's US title or she didn't make it onto the Mania card. Stratton then talks about the history of the US title and how the title has been in her shadow during its entire existence, and only now is it getting a spotlight because of her. Stratton says that Julia, Selena, and Chelsea Green all sucked as Women US champions, and she will be the one who brings prestige to the title once she wins it at WrestleMania. 53 rating, not too shabby. Afterwards, we stay in the back as we have a promo from the MFTs with everyone in war paint. Solo says that tonight's the night where they put the White Six down for good and then celebrate being the best family in WWE history. But before then, Solo needs to make one thing clear. Solo looks at Tama Tonga and tells Tonga that he chose not to have him in the White Six versus MFT match tonight. Solo is still upset at what Tama Tonga did a few weeks ago when he gave the lantern back to Uncle Howdy. And Solo doesn't want Tama Tonga to fuck anything up tonight. Tonga's on Solo's last nerves. So tonight is his last chance to prove himself to him and the MFT. Tonga nods and says that he will deal with Shinsuke Nakamura for Solo, and then he'll be waiting back here for when MFT wins their match. And as you've just heard, our next match, Shinsuke Nakamura defeating Tama Tonga with a Kinshasa following interference from Oka Sasaki. Wow. 60 rating, and Shinsuke Nakamura celebrates his win against Tama Tonga with help from someone in a Japanese menpol mask that we saw last week. Nakamura smirks as he welcomes the masked man into the ring. The man circles Tonga like a vulture before Shinsuke Nakamura does a meditation that resembles the Great Muta's pre-match routine from NWA Clash of Champions 4. I completely forgot the name of the meditation, so that was the best I could come up with. And when Nakamura spits red mist into the air, the masked man immediately removes their mask to reveal themselves to be Oka Sasaki. Oka Sasaki is here on SmackDown and is aligned with Shinsuke Nakamura. Oka Sasaki and Shinsuke Nakamura immediately start attacking Tama Tonga on the ground as the crowd is shocked. Nakamura and Sasaki pose for the crowd after they finish their attack on Tama Tonga before the segment ends. So not only did Tama Tonga not get the job done here tonight, but it seems like Oka Sasaki as a part of this new alliance with Shinsuke Nakamura. But before we can get any answers, we go backstage to where Nick Aldis is seen watching SmackDown on a nearby TV as Megan Moran enters the frame, telling Aldis down Raw, "We heard Pierce." Aldis then cuts Moran off, looking at her as he asks her if she's going to ask how he's been preparing for the draft next week. Is she going to ask him about what Pierce said on Raw? Well, as you can see, SmackDown is too busy for these questions, so Aldis is just going to give her the answers she is looking for. Aldis says that he's been preparing for the draft just like how Pierce has been. Sleepless nights, precious time away from his family, and all of his and his draft team's attention solely on making SmackDown the best brand it can possibly be. As for what Pierce said on Raw, he heard what he said, and Aldis is happy that Adam Pearce has tricks up his sleeve, as Aldis has some tricks as well. Aldis has also been looking at not just NXT and AAA, but also at talent all over the world for this draft, as he wants this draft to be the best draft fans have ever seen. Aldis says that some of his people have already signed WWE contracts, and now he's just waiting until next week so he can reveal all of those people to the world live. Aldis concludes by saying that, well, it's cliche, next week will truly be the start of a new era. An era in which if you can't fight your way out of a chokehold or a simple leg lock, then you don't deserve to be on SmackDown. This isn't quite the land of opportunity SmackDown, but this is the put up or shut up era of SmackDown. Wins and losses matter, and every week here on SmackDown, there will be incredible pro wrestling for the audience to watch week in and week out. Aldis thanks Morant for her time before walking off. 54 rating. Love to see it. Afterwards, we have a backstage promo from the White Six. The White Six are seen backstage. Uncle Howdy says that this past week, he visited his brother Bray Wyatt's wrestling place and spoke to him. He was able to catch him up on everything he and the White Six have been able to accomplish since his untimely passing a few years back, and finally have had some time with him. Howdy says that he told his brother what the MFTs have been doing to them, and how tonight they will put the feud to sleep once they defeat the MFTs. Howdy also says that while speaking to his brother, he asked him if he could leave the Uncle Howdy name behind in order to adopt a name that would better honor Bray, and he felt like his brother gave him the go-ahead. So after tonight, Uncle Howdy will be no more, and Taylor Rotunda will lead the White Six. Tonight, they will win this match for Bray and inch their way closer to gold in his honor. 46 rating. I'm going to be honest, I'm not sure if I'm going to do Taylor Rotunda. It's still a little work in progress, but this is basically me saying I'm killing off the Uncle Howdy name after tonight. What the name will be? Not sure. You'll probably have to wait until next episode when I think most of them are in the Andre the Giant Memorial. So, yeah. But in your next match, an elimination match where everyone is banned from ringside, the Wyatt Six defeat the MFT in an elimination match. First, Eric Rowan was eliminated, then Tongaloa, then Talatonga, then JC Mateo, then Joe Gacy, then Dexter Loomis, and then finally Solo Sikoa. 50 rating. I mean the best was Solo Sikoa with a 52, so I can't be surprised. But after the match, the White Six have put an end to the MFT and celebrate their win here as the MFTs slowly head to the back. They have ended the feud of terror, finally. But afterwards, we head to the back as Shinsuke Nakamura and Oka Sasaki are seen backstage as Megan Morant enters the frame, asking them about the attack earlier tonight and what this alliance is about. Nakamura tells Morant that this was only a matter of time. See, back in 2024, Nakamura got a call from Muto-san, or Keiji Muto, who told him that Oka Sasaki is the future of pro wrestling and should be sent on an excursion to WWE. Nakamura requested a match to see what all this fuss was about, and after the match, immediately knew he had to take Oka under his wing. Now that Oka is on excursion, Nakamura wants to make sure the WWE fans see what Oka Sasaki is about and that Oka Sasaki is the future of the industry and wants to show Oka the world before he heads back to the land of rising sun. Nakamura ends the promo by saying this is a battle cry for the rest of the WWE roster. Noroshi is here! They aren't gonna wait around for some gold. And I've just been told next week we will have Noroshi taking on the Sons of Tonga. Very excited to see how that one will play out. But afterwards, we stay in the back as the MFTs are seen backstage as Solo looks pissed. Solo slams his hands on a nearby table before asking the MFTs what just happened. First, Tama Tonga lost to Shinsuke Nakamura and his new Japanese bitch. And then the MFTs lost their elimination match against the White Six. This is unacceptable. Solo says that if it wasn't for the Tongans eating the pins like always, they would have gotten the win in both matches. But, like always, the MFTs let Solo down. Solo says that they have a lot to discuss before SmackDown next week, so they better prepare themselves. Afterwards, in your main event match, you have Cody Rhodes and Danhausen defeating Kit Wilson and The Miz in a decent match. In terms of in-ring work, unsurprisingly, Cody Rhodes was head and shoulders above everyone else. And after the match, Cody Rhodes celebrates his win alongside Danhausen briefly before Cody grabs a microphone. Cody says that before they go to the Hall of Fame induction ceremony, Cody wants to respond to what Orton said here tonight. Cody says that he promises Orton that he will bring out that demon in him at WrestleMania. He doesn't give a fuck who he gives front row seats to or who Orton has in his ear talking in his head. Cody is the American nightmare. While Orton was wasting his career away in the WWE over the past decade, Cody has been rebuilding his name all over the world, in Japan, Mexico, Europe, the United Kingdom, you name it. Cody wrestled there within the past decade. Cody might not have had the demons that Orton has, but goddamn does he have the heart and soul of pro wrestling burning inside of him. Cody says that he wishes Orton good luck in their Mania match because God knows how much Orton will need it. Afterwards, after the show, you have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. The Hall of Fame induction ceremony takes place after the show with AJ Styles and Stephanie McMahon being inducted alongside Demolition, Dennis Rodman, Sid Banias Brown, and Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant for the WWF World Heavyweight Championship from WrestleMania 3. They didn't have the microphone skills, which, okay. It's only because one of them was going to be pissed if I didn't make it improvised, so I allowed them to do improvised. Finish the show 70. Love to see it. Our networks aren't pissed at us, unlike last week. Lost popularity in 17 regions, not surprised. Financial report, just over 1 million. Popularity recap, lost popularity in India, Europe, and a little bit in America. But that's gonna do it for today's episode. Which means that next episode and the episode after that, we have WrestleMania. Ooh. Honestly, I'm still deciding whether or not I want to do it just one major episode, or if I want to cut into two, make it somewhat realistic, but I'm not too sure. That's going to do it for today's episode of Reviving the Federation. I've been True Unscripted Puro, and I'll see you all next time when we have WrestleMania 42 live from Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada.